Is the Virgin Voyages Fire and Sunset Soiree itinerary too short, or is it the perfect long weekend getaway? In this video, I'm sharing with you the helpful tips specific to this itinerary that you need to know so that you can have the best time possible coming up. And if you're new here, ahoy, I'm Christine Lozada with Where in the World is CL? I'm on sailing number 17. We're at port at Key West today. I am breaking down today's video, starting with the itinerary. Then we're gonna, and this was hard for me, I'm gonna give you 5 key tips specific for this itinerary, especially given the length. And then I'm going to give you a day-by-day top tips, play-by-play, on how I recommend you consider planning your days. Then I'm gonna give you some helpful tips at the end, because I love helpful tips. So let's dive straight in. Be a smart traveler. I want you to book with us. And let's talk about the itinerary. The Virgin Voyages Fire and Sunset Soiree kicks off embarking out of Miami on day 1. You'll go to Terminal V. And on days 2 and 3, you'll either be at sea or you'll be at Key West. And on the Key West day, you'll generally arrive around 8 a.m. and be there until around 4:30 p.m., which is the normal all aboard time. Then on your final day, you'll be at Bimini before you head back to Miami on your final day. This is 5 days and 4 nights. Virgin Voyages does a good job of chasing good weather. So that means maybe that itinerary might switch up just a little bit, but in general, that's what you can expect out of the itinerary. Let's talk about 5 key tips, or maybe it's 5 must-do things on this specific itinerary. And the first one is the food. Virgin Voyages is all about the food. And so making sure, let's do the math really quick. There's 20 eateries on board, but 6 of them are your sit-down dining dinner restaurants. If you only have 4 nights on this sailing, you unfortunately got to pick and choose. So at this current time, and I would love your opinion in the comments below if you've been on this sailing, or join us in our Facebook group, so many amazing sailors over there, is the Wake and Pink Agave. These are the 2 most popular restaurants. Make sure 45 days in advance, you are booking those in your itinerary if that's something you want to do, because again, you're picking and choosing. The other second must-do thing and key tip I have for Fire and Sunset Soiree is to make sure you're doing brunch. Do brunch on at least one of the days. Again, the 2 brunch restaurants, you have the Wake and Razzle Dazzle. My key tip is I recommend that you do your brunch on sea day. You only have 1 sea day on this itinerary, and it's a great day to take advantage of, if you'd like to, the bottomless brunch. Bottomless brunch is an additional cost. I know I have complaints that Virgin Voyages isn't paying for my moets, but I'm not going to bother Sailor Services about that one. Maybe I should have asked the CEO about that when I was hanging out with him yesterday. But Virgin Voyages is about the food, so make sure that you're booking your dinner and your brunch restaurants. Unlike other long sailings, my third tip for the Fire and Sunsets is that you will have themed parties every night. So since there's only 4 nights, every night will be a themed party. We'll break down what might happen on each night. But one key tip I have, your must-do thing, is don't miss Scarlet Night. Don't accidentally sleep through Scarlet Night. Don't worry, it's not on the first night. We'll talk about that. But don't miss the opportunity to enjoy the signature party on Virgin Voyages. The 4th thing you must do is around being at port. And this is your opportunity to go explore Key West, do something on Bimini Island. But if there's something you really want to do, make sure you're signing up for that shore excursion, i.e. what Virgin Voyages calls their shore things, in advance. You can always cancel it later. There's a 48-hour cancellation policy currently. But one thing I definitely recommend on this itinerary, especially if you haven't been before, go to the Virgin Voyages private beach club. A lot of people think Bimini is a private island. It's not a private island. Virgin Voyages has a private beach club on Bimini Island. It is really beautiful. It comes with food included. They have the really fun float on pool party. I recommend you go check it out, especially if you've never been before. My 5th key thing to do and key tip is, while I want you to watch my entire channel, because honestly, I feel like you have a lot of homework specific for this itinerary. And don't forget, I'm here for you every step of the way. I have a full crash course on Virgin Voyages. The thing that you need to do in advance that I highly recommend is a ship walk through. So I have tours of each of the ships, and it's really nice to just familiarize yourself with what the layout is like, so that you can find your way around the ship and make sure you're able to discover all the cool things that they have to offer.
But here's something kind of funny.
While you can watch the ship video tour that's specific for Scarlet Lady, Valiant Lady, Resilient Lady, etc., they're all the same. A lot of people don't realize that. Oh, wow, this is in the same spot. It's the exact same ship with a different name. All right, fine. The art is slightly different, and sometimes the shuffleboard's in a different spot, and the den in the casino might be slot machines, or it might be a crew space depending on the ship. But generally, it's exactly the same thing. So go watch the ship tour, get comfortable with that. That is my 5th tip. We're gonna move on to this next section, which is your day-by-day play-by-play with more helpful tips. But don't forget, my travel agent is working insanely hard to get you the best deals out there, while I'm working super hard to get you the best, most helpful tips and content. So let's start with the first day, which is your Miami Embarkation Day. Here's my key tips. Embarking at Terminal V in Miami is very easy. Just make sure you have your boarding pass ready, which has your room number on it. You will be asked for this, as well as having your passport ready. Virgin Voyages, this is a key tip. They are like an airline. And like an airline, how you board with your boarding group, same thing with Virgin Voyages. You board at your boarding time. So make sure you come at that time so you're not just waiting outside at Terminal V, especially if it's hot. So board with your boarding time. There's a parking garage right in front if you're driving in at just $25. Otherwise, there's Uber and taxi drop-off. That's really simple. And if you want to be an even smarter traveler, don't forget you got more in the description. The next part is the fun part, because you're getting on board. This is your moment to greet the happenings cast, say hello, get familiar with your entertainment / cruise directors. Your room is ready as soon as you're on board, so you can drop additional luggage if you've hand carried anything on. This is your chance to meet your room attendant and watch the safety video. I recommend you do this from your room while simultaneously connecting to that Wi-Fi. And then one key thing is that a lot of dinner and brunch reservations are held until people are on board. That means if you don't have the exact time you want, if you don't have a reservation, which I came on board this ship with no reservations, now is a time that you can go and look and book things. Your literal play-by-play, I got that for you as well. The next thing you can expect on day 1 is the sail away, and the key time to know is 5:45 to 6:15, and they will make sure it is exactly that time when they serve you the free bubbles. They will give you champagne so you can drink as much as you want during that sail away party. This is your chance to see the entire happenings cast all at once, and cheers to the start of your vacation. More helpful tips, and also if you're overwhelmed by how many tips, there's a printable helpful guide with all of my best tips. After the sail away, it's time to head to dinner, and hopefully you have a reservation at one of the 4 restaurants you really want to be at. For me, it would be the Wake or Pink Agave. This is your chance to go. If I had to pick a time on sail away day, I would make my dinner reservation for 7 or 7:30. There's a full podcast episode around key tips for what dinner time to book. But if you're a solo sailor like I am on this sailing, then there is a group dinner at 6:45, but there's also tons of solo sailor tips. And then after you enjoy some entertainment around the ship, you unpack, you relax, you do the vacationing thing, it's time for the pajama party. This always starts at 11 a.m. The pajama party is your themed party that always happens on the first night of your sailing, no matter what ship you're on. So PJ party under the stars. This happens outside at the athletic club, which is the back of the ship. And if it's raining, and hopefully on your sailing you have fantastic weather, it will otherwise be held in the manor. And a top question people ask is like, can I wear my pajamas to dinner? Of course you can. Lots of people do, lots of people don't, whatever you feel comfortable with. But I've gone to dinner with my PJs on. Before we get to day 2, there's a key thing you should do that night, which is push. the do not disturb on your door. Why? Your room attendants generally start cleaning around 9 a.m. And if you've had a late night or if you're taking a true vacation, you should be sleeping in. On day 2, this is your day to do your brunch. Consider doing bottomless brunch. Why not? This is the day that the entertainment will put on a lot on the agenda. It's a great day to go enjoy the free workout program, go do some classes. Why not? And a key reminder is that you're previewing the agenda before you get on board, but know that it's not the final thing. They add so much more. Again, Virgin Voyages is constantly changing entertainment and they are always adding more things to the agenda based on who's on board and their strengths of what they're able to do. So make sure you're checking the agenda again once you're on board, because it will and should look different than what you've been looking at leading up to your vacation. There are a few top things I recommend if you've never sailed before. The first is the pool. The key thing here is to be at the pool when the DJs are there. It's a totally different vibe. That's way more fun. That's one thing I recommend. The next one, see the shows you really want, but make sure you go early. For example, tonight, one of my favorites, Ben Price, I'm gonna make sure I go 30 minutes early to line up so I can get a good spot at the Manor. See the shows you want, and on C Day, C Day is the day that they serve afternoon tea. This is an additional paid item. And if you're like, oh my gosh, why are there so many additional things? There's plenty of included free things. But for example, it's a great value to do the high tea with Moet. So one thing you can do is afternoon tea. The other key thing to do, this is generally the day they will do bingo with the diva. And yes, you can win real money. Meatball has won bingo. And so this is your day for bingo with the diva. Lots of people love that activity. And if I told you all the things to do, this video would be 3 hours long. So add your comments below if you've sailed before on what the key thing you would do, because some people do all the trivia. Some people do all casino. Some people are singing their heart out in the groupie all day. But the most exciting part is there's no lack of things to do. A lot of people think they'll be bored on the ship. Likely you'll be like my mom, who wanted to do everything. She was literally running around the ship. The theme party for this night is generally Scarlet Night. This is the night everyone dresses up in red. Key tip here, 9 p.m. at the roundabout. Go early, grab a spot, wear red, come as you are. You don't have to be crazy fancy. Whatever is comfortable for you, that's red. And obviously I'm here for you, so tons more helpful tips. Day 3 is Key West. Go enjoy getting off the ship. One thing I recommend is if you're not doing one of the brunch restaurants on this day, the breakfast at the galley is awesome. If you don't know this, each of the food stalls in the galley will transform into serving different kinds of breakfast items. I personally love the breakfast burger. My mom ate the whole thing by herself.
Didn't share with me.
Proud of you, Mom. Go enjoy yourself in Key West. And if there is a day you're trying to go to the thermal suite spa or just enjoy quiet spaces on the ship, obviously it's on a port day and not on a sea day. When people are off the ship, obviously things are quieter here. So if you care about things like that, maybe this is your day to go explore for a little bit and then come back and enjoy the ship early. Do the right thing for you, but tonight's theme party is one of my favorites, which is We Fancy. Top tip here, a lot of people think We Fancy means we need to dress up fancy, which is not the case at all. It's a gold themed party. I think God and goddesses and the Happenings cast will be there to dance and entertain you. And then it becomes this big party in the Manor. All right, let's talk about day 4, which is Bimini. Oh, here's a tip. If you are an early riser, I'm not an early riser, but if you are, watching the sunrise as you're coming into Bimini Island is quite pretty. I recommend doing this obviously from the back of the ship, either at the dock or from upstairs behind the galley on 15. It's a really pretty one. Bimini is beautiful. This is your day to go do the shore excursion stuff, but my key tip on this day is don't miss the float on party. The float on party is short. What is it? It's at the beach club, at the pool area closest to the DJ. You'll have all of the Happenings cast out there dancing and entertaining you from 1 to 2:30 p.m. The DJ will play a little bit before this and after it, but the key part of the party, the time to be in the pool, to grab grab a floaty and enjoy yourself is at this key time. Make sure you eat the food. It is included. Actually, if you want my actual key tip, I like to get the rice and then I mix it with the pumpkin curry and then I add a little bit of the jerk chicken in there. There's plenty of other things to do in Bimini, so make sure you're checking out more helpful resources. And if you have a helpful tip, add it in the comments below. We're all a community, and be a smart traveler and book with us. Let's talk about, wait, there's one more key thing on this day, because you're disembarking tomorrow. If you have a big luggage, you have the option to pack that up and put it outside your stateroom door by 10 p.m. on this day. If you want some help, what does that mean if you've never cruised or sailed with Virgin before? A porter, your crew, will help to carry your bag down so that you can disembark the ship without this heavy luggage. Make your way down through the terminal and then pick it up on the terminal side. This helps to make your disembarkation a little bit easier. So know that's available to you. Make sure you keep your room tag on your luggage, and if you accidentally threw it away, you can go grab another one at Sailor Services. Theme party for tonight is Studio 72. It starts with a short 15 to 20 minute show in the beginning, which is circus disco, immediately followed by dancing to a lot of my favorite music. I love Earth, Wind, and Fire, but that's the theme party for tonight. And then it's time to go home. Boo. But my key tip for disembarkation day is know that, yeah, you can get off very early. Yes, they encourage you to book your disembarkation time. This helps them with the flow of traffic getting off of the ship. But generally speaking, just make sure you get off by 10:30. It's that simple. Obviously, most people will wait till the last moment to get off. So the elevators can get very congested, but generally speaking, disembarkation day, that's your time to get off the ship. A key tip, your wearable. This is your token to get off the ship. You're tapping that, and then you have the option to either keep it or recycle it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your play-by-play. I want to share my honest opinion about this itinerary because I have sailed 17 times and I've only been on this itinerary 3 times. And I think there's 2 things I want to share with you, especially if you're still deciding if this is the right itinerary for you. The first one is I have been trying to listen to other sailors on board who have sailed with Virgin before and are coming back and doing this itinerary. Because I wondered, is it too short? Like, does this feel too short for you? I usually do this sailing as a back-to-back. And I do have sailors on board sailing with us, love you, John, who are doing a back-to-back because it is too short. And it all depends on what kind of a traveler you are. For most people, what I hear is, no, I'm busy at home. I got things to do. A 4-night long weekend is the perfect amount of time for me to get away, and that's good. And for other people who really want to do everything, it's way too short. And so they will do things like smart traveler John doing his back-to-back, love, or they'll just do what everyone else is guaranteed going to do, which is they book another sailing, which if you're wondering if you should book onto the ship or if you should book with us, it literally takes a minute to find out. So just be a smart traveler. But one other opinion I have about this itinerary, because a lot of people, especially, when I'm playing pickleball, they're like, well, you're just going to Key West. Like, don't you want to go like somewhere else? And to be honest, I don't know if you've ever driven to Key West, but it sucks. It's a long drive. Coming here via ship is amazing. Plus, it's really nice because it's beautiful down here and it's a totally different vibe than Miami, in my opinion. And another thing about Virgin Voyages in general is that the ship experience is really where it's at for a lot of first-time sailors. It's cool to be able to use a ship to get to different ports and itineraries that you want, but Virgin Voyages offers something totally different than other cruise lines. And so just having the opportunity to not be so worried about what's happening at port and spending all day at port, I mean, you can at these ports, but being able to enjoy the ship experience is really nice. So is it too short? I want to hear your opinion in the comments below, and tell me when you're sailing. I'm a cruise crasher. I come on all the time. My last sailing was booked 2 days before I got on. I'm Christine Lozada. Book with us. Be a smart traveler. There's so many more resources in the description for you. Like, don't forget all the homework you got to do in the crash course. And I'll see you in the next video. Ciao. And if you've stayed all the way to the end, I do just want to give one thank you and shout out, and that is to my business partner and travel agent, Jason, aka JC Carter. We are on board right now celebrating the top 100 Virgin Voyages travel agents, i.e. first mates. And there are over 22,000 Virgin Voyages travel agents. We've been working hard for you and it shows. Oh. I think I'm gonna go eat something tasty now. Okay, love you, bye.